the evening news. I am Babatunde Fanuopo. President Bola Tinubu has signed the South-South Development Commission Bill into law, signifying a historic advancement towards equitable regional development in the country. Reports say that the achievement for the region results from the effort of the Chairman, Senate Committee on NDDC, Senator Asukwa Ekpayong. It was gathered that Senator Ekpayong, with some co-sponsors from the South-South geopolitical zone, introduced the bill last year to address systemic disparities in resource allocation and development. Senator Ekpayong emphasized the need for a dedicated commission to prioritize geopolitical equity over all revenue-based allocations, ensuring all South-South states, including Cross River, which previously received minimal NDDC benefits, gain equitable access to resources. The bill ensures funding through federal allocations, international grants, and partnerships, bypassing the NDDC's oil-dependent model, shields the Commission from fluctuations in oil prices, and ensures sustained development. The senators appreciated President Tinubu for his commitment to regional development, as the new commission will address the region's challenges such as infrastructure deficits and environmental degradation, while ensuring Cross River and all South-South states receive the resources they deserve. And while the House of Representatives has rescinded its decision to pass for second reading a constitutional amendment bill to strip the Vice President, governors, and deputy governors of immunity as conferred by Section 308 of the Constitution as amended. The House also rescinded its decision to pass for second reading the bill to amend the Constitution to review penalty for certain category of offenses. The two bills were passed for second reading and referred to the House Committee on Constitutional Review. According to reports, the bill stripping the Vice President and others of immunity, titled "A Bill for an Act to Alter the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 to qualify the immunity conferred on the President, remove the immunity conferred on the Vice President, the governors, and their deputies in order to curb corruption, eradicate impunity, and enhance accountability in public office," is sponsored by Solomon Bob. Also, Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kalu and 6 others sponsored the bill on penalty for certain capital offenses, titled "A Bill for an Act to Alter the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria Cap C23 Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004 to review the penalties for certain capital offenses in alignment with relevant international best practices." Deputy Speaker, who presided over plenary, said the rescission of the decision to pass them for second reading became necessary in view of the need to subject them to further debate. The Rivers State Sole Administrator, retired Vice Admiral Ibot Ete Ibas, has suspended political appointees and office holders in the state with immediate effect. In a statement, the Chief of Staff to the Administrator said the decision was made under the powers granted to Ibas by President Bola Tinubu. Those affected include the Secretary to the State Government, the Chief of Staff, all commissioners, chairpersons, and members of boards, agencies, commissions, and parastatals, as well as all special advisors, special assistant, and senior special assistant. The suspension takes immediate effect, with the directive that the affected officers should hand over to the permanent secretaries in their MDAs. The statement further stated that where there may be no permanent secretary, they are to hand over to the most senior director, head of administration. Ibas was sworn in as sole administrator by President Bola Tinubu after the President declared a state of emergency in Rivers State. The President also suspended Governor Simnai Fubara his deputy Ngozi Odu, and all elected members of the Rivers State House of Assembly for an initial period of 6 months. Ibas, who is a former chief of naval staff, vowed to maintain law and order in the state. He also promised to work together with other stakeholders to ensure that order is restored in the state. The Nigerian Air Force says it has in multi-wave airstrikes eliminated scores of suspected terrorists at Warawara near Wajiroko and Chinene in Mandara Mountains area of Borno State. This is contained in a statement by the Deputy Director of Public Relations and Information, Nigerian Air Force, Group Captain Kabiru Ali in Abuja, adding that the NAF had sustained its counter-terrorism operations tempo in the northeast, executing decisive airstrikes in multiple waves and dealing a severe blow to insurgent activities. Group Captain Ali said that the NAF, guided by painstaking intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance missions, identified a number of terrorists stockpiling logistics and planting improvised explosive devices around Wajiroko. According to him, surveillance tracked their movement to a concealed location, housing a gun truck, ammunition stockpiles, and fuel reserves. He said the airstrikes also destroyed 4 terrorist gun trucks, 2 Toyota Hilux vehicles, and several makeshift shelters, forcing the insurgents to abandon their positions, degrading their operational capabilities. Government at all levels, individuals, and organizations have been called upon for the rejuvenation of Nigeria's correctional system by rehabilitating and reintegrating inmates into the society. The committee chairman for security at the Medium Security Custodian Center in the state, Prophet Sunday Adeleke, made the call during a meeting with the OSBC management. Prophet Adeleke stated the need for the provision of essential tools for inmates who must have served their jail terms for economic survival rather than going back to criminality. He highlighted the mission of the initiative as its primary focus is to rehabilitate inmates, empower them with basic income skills, also ensure that they are properly monitored both inside and outside the correctional facility. The committee appealed to the OSBC management to develop public awareness programs such as advertisement and educational content to sensitize youth and discourage crime. Responding, the OSBC management, led by the Permanent Secretary and Director General, Mrs. Jolade Barola, commended the initiative and reaffirmed the corporation's commitment to supporting rehabilitation efforts through public enlightenment and advocacy. And on to sports. Victor Osimhen's journey in Nigerian football has been remarkable, with the March international break further cementing his status as a national treasure. His relentless pursuit of Rashidi Yekini's long-standing goal record has placed him in the spotlight as he continues to etch his name in Nigerian football history. With 26 international goals, Osimhen has surpassed Segun Odegbami's 44-year record, becoming Nigeria's most prolific striker since the legendary Yekini. Former African Footballer of the Year Victor Ikpeba is confident in Osimhen's trajectory. Ikpeba said Osimhen is a fantastic player, deeply committed to the team, and will soon rewrite history. Osimhen first made headlines during the 2015 Under-17 World Cup in Chile, where he scored an astonishing 10 goals in just 7 matches. His performances earned him the Golden Boot, the Silver Ball, and the CAF Youth Player of the Year award. Regardless of whether he ultimately breaks Yekini's record, Osimhen has already cemented his legacy. His 2023 African Player of the Year award is proof that it's not just Nigeria's present, but also its future in world football. And on the foreign scene, the United Nations mission in South Sudan has called on all parties to exercise restraint amid reports of the arrest of first Vice President Riek Machar, the longtime rival of the country's president Salva Kiir. UMI's chief Nicholas Hayson said the country risks losing the hard-won gains of the past 7 years if the world's newest nation returned to a state of war, following reports that Machar was arrested at his residence in the capital, Juba. He said the country's leaders stand on the brink of relapsing into widespread conflict or taking the country forward towards peace, recovery, and democracy in the spirit of the consensus that was reached in 2018 when they signed and committed to implementing a revitalized peace agreement. According to Nicholas Haysom, a return to fighting will not only devastate South Sudan but also affect the entire region. South Sudan violence surges as political turmoil fuels deadly attacks and displacement. And that ends the evening news on OSBC TV. Join us at 7 for the major reports. Good evening.